The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Sicilian Corner, winner of the Italian Heritage Media Award, with your hosts, Tom Zappola and Mike Lamazzo.
Mikey, you're looking really, really young these days. You look young. You look spry. You know something else? You look a little like David.
Yes, that's a valid point. I also have less hair than Michael, to be honest.
You do.
If we're being honest.
Welcome to the Sicilian Corner. My name is Tom Zappola, and my other compadre, Dave Martinez, is filling in today for Mike Lamazzo, who was on traveling right to the casino, right?
That's right, making his donations as we speak.
That's exactly where he's traveling. So David's been nice enough to fill in today. Today we're going to be all over the place.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the Super Bowl. We're going to talk about wine, food, vodka, a little of everything. You're listening to us. We are broadcasting. Well, David is broadcasting from the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe with our beautiful Chrissy Cunningham.
Hi.
And you can listen to us, and you guys all know you can listen to us on TuneIn Radio 980. Good friends at WCAP, Facebook, Spotify, all that good stuff. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
But anyway, David.
Yes.
What were your thoughts on the Super Bowl?
I thought it was, as far as the game is concerned, reasonably unmemorable. I think years from now, we're probably going to sit back and say, yeah, the Rams won, but I'm going to remember a lot of the details. I don't think there was a lot. It was so many 3-and-outs, and there was long stretches of no action.
Yeah, everybody thought, I saw some, read some articles, saw some posts that it was a really thrilling game. I didn't think it was either. I totally agree. I know it was a close game, but
yeah.
It wasn't very exciting. Now, could that be though because we've been spoiled and the Patriots were not in it, or TB12 wasn't in it?
Yeah, that's a valid point. We didn't have a rooting interest because we had one last year with Brady in Tampa, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
And we had the year prior to that, the Patriots lost. Who the heck did they lose to in the championship game? Whoever they lost to in the championship, we had a rooting against. We were rooting against them. And then the year before the Patriots ended, so the Patriots were always in and around the game. And this year, I don't know. We just didn't have the emotional attachment to it.
Yeah, I wasn't overly excited, but you know something, we watched the game up at my sister's. My sister has a condo next door, so just a small gathering. We had a nice, enjoyed it. What about your Super Bowl? I mean, did you watch it at home? You were just you and your family?
Just Joyce and I. I worked during the day, got home around 4-ish, took a shower, and got ready. I just had a turkey pot pie from Raymond's Turkey Farm in Methuen, which was fantastic, and some wine, and watched the game, and it was kind of good. It was a no-stress situation. When the Patriots are in it or Brady's in it, you're kind of stressing and you're anxious about stuff. And
absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. Chrissy, what about you? Did you watch the game?
I did, yeah. I was at my local spot, Sadie's here in town.
Right.
So.
Did they have a nice Super Bowl spread for food, or was it just watch the game?
No, we did. We had a big spread of food. Everyone sort of brought some stuff, and then Sadie supplied some stuff. And
nice.
Yeah, I bought a party platter and brought that over. So we all kind of pitched in. It was great.
Yeah, we had the typical wings, but we bought the wings. There's a place down here. I think there is one. I'm not sure if there's one up in Massachusetts called Anthony's Coal Fire Pizza. And the wings are not fried wings. They're brick oven wings that are roasted.
Nice.
And they toss them in just a little olive oil, lemon juice, a little tinge of garlic, and some Italian seasoning, and they toss them.
Nice.
And they throw them in the oven, and they're sitting on top of a pile of roasted onions.
Wow.
I'll tell you, delicious.
Sounds
Absolutely
awesome.
Delicious. And they're not totally unhealthy. So we had a couple of orders of wings. My sister made some Italian munchies, my mom's recipes, And then we just kind of, cheese and crackers, a lot of picky stuff,
So,
picky stuff.
but you had the same feel, right? There wasn't like an emotional attachment to the game. It was just kind of
Not at all.
You're kind of
Not at
watching
all.
from the side. You get to criticize everyone, and there was none of that heart thing. Like, oh, they got third and long. What's going to happen?
Totally agree.
Yeah. So what did you?
So I want to get your opinions, both of you. We're in. David, I'm an older generation. You're a little younger, and Chrissy's a little younger. I wanted to get your opinion on the halftime show. Chrissy, you first.
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. That was a lot of awesome people on stage all at once. So I really enjoyed it.
David?
I knew some of the songs. I knew all the artists. I've heard of them, obviously. I think. Chrissy, how old were those songs? These weren't current songs. These are the hits from 10-ish years ago. Is that about right?
Even more so.
Even
some
long,
of them.
right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting that even they had these younger artists, they were still playing songs that were older in an effort to try to get this younger generation to watch, I guess. What did you think? How did that fly down in Florida?
You know something? I went into it totally ready to do battle, to be honest with you. Totally ready to do battle. I was never a big Snoop fan.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you something. I was very impressed.
Yeah.
I was impressed with it. I thought it was very good. We were talking about it yesterday. As you know, my sister is in that business. As a matter of fact, her company, Live Nation, they put that on, and so we were talking about it. And what they attempted to do, and they succeeded, is I think they took that genre of hip hop music, and they carried it through the generations. So in other words, they started with not LL Cool J. I know 50 Cent.
Oh, yep.
And then there was Mary J. Blige.
Mary J.
And then Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Then Eminem. So they kind of evolved through the different years. And I thought it was very, very, very cool the way they did it.
Yeah, I think they tied each artist in nicely. The theatrical production part of it, transitioning, was really good.
Yeah, they did. So most of it was through Dr. Dre, right? So
Right.
that's how
Dr. Dre, right?
Started.
He was the other one.
He did.
Yeah, he started it, right? Was Dre the first?
Yeah, and then he did. Obviously, Tupac couldn't be there.
Yeah.
Right.
But he did. Yeah, like California Love was him and Tupac, which that came out in like '99, I believe. That song.
That long.
And
But
then
you
they
know
just
who?
kept
I said
moving.
this to my sister, and I don't even know, Chrissy, you may be able to answer this.
Mm-hmm.
You know who they really should have stopped? I don't even know if I think they still perform. Unless they're both dead or one of them. Run DMC
Oh, okay.
should have really started the show, because Run DMC, they were in the 80s.
Yeah.
They were really the first
I thought
hip
one
hop.
of
right?
them might be gone, I think. I'm not sure.
Okay.
We'll have to get our crack research team on that.
Yeah.
Well, it could have been Run DM then.
It could have been. No, but I understand what you're saying. So you had like an ode to the guys that kind of started
Exactly.
this genre
Exactly.
and helped propel these guys. That's
But I
valid.
know a lot of our viewers and listeners in my generation are probably going to skewer us for this or skewer me for this. I know Mikey, if Mikey were here, Mikey would be off the wall. But I really thought it was actually pretty good. I thought it was good. I thought it was well done. You know what's really interesting, though? I don't know, David, if you've ever been to a football game, like a major football game like that, and been there for the halftime show. Have you ever done that?
No.
Can I tell you something? Those shows are made strictly for the TV audience.
Oh, okay.
It's really interesting, the dynamics, because I was thinking in that stadium, the people behind the stage, the whole half of the stadium, in the bleachers, they couldn't even see some of the performers because they were down below in those little rooms.
Yeah, it's
Number one.
made for TV, right?
Exactly. And the acoustics, I know the acoustics are much better than they were, but I remember once I went to a National College Football Championship game here in Miami. It was a national championship game. And it was a country western guy, one of the big country western guys. And it was like nobody was paying attention. People are getting their hot dogs, shooting the breeze, drinking their beers. And it's really for a TV audience. I found that very, very
well. They're
interesting.
shooting for the NFL's shooting for their target audience. Well, the target audience for this performance was very obvious. So it wasn't me or you. maybe Chrissy.
Definitely
Chrissy. There you go.
There you go.
But I mean, I saw a lot of comments online of flashbacks to 12th grade, 7th grade, elementary school. So they're looking for that probably 25 to 45-year-old group. I'm guessing.
I definitely I agree with that. But it was good. I
I thought
enjoyed
it was fine.
But,
I thought it was fine.
overall,
And the game was
I would give the whole Super Bowl game a C or a C plus.
C plus is fair. C plus
Right?
is fair. And congratulations to the Rams. Good on them. They had a very limited window here. They've gambled everything roster wise and money wise on this season. So
Yeah, absolutely,
we'll see how
absolutely.
it goes.
So anyway, so it's I had a couple of wine questions for you, David.
Yes.
Not to change the subject, but to change the subject. I always have kind of a hard time picking out wines for friends, for company and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know there are, Cabernets and there are Merlots and Pinot Noirs, but you're in that business for quite a while. How about a little direction on wines that are not too acidic, wines that are good fit with this food, red wines, white wines? I know the Chardonnays, the Sauvignon Blancs, that's not a problem. But when you were at the state liquor store in New Hampshire, what were some of the better selling red wines?
The Josh Cellars wines, both their Pinot Noir and their Cabernet Sauvignon, even their Merlot, although not as much the Merlot, would fly out the door. People would literally buy them by the cases. Now, granted, most of these were on sale. Each month there was a Josh sale on something, whether it was a white or red.
Yeah.
But those wines people would frequently buy by the case. The Columbia Crest wines, the Cabernet Sauvignon also sells well. Now, these are reasonably priced wines, so you're buying them on sale.
What are you talking, like an $8-9 bottle of wine?
If you buy it on sale, it's going to be $9 or so, and then if you buy by the case in the state of New Hampshire, you get a discount on top of that. So those are super popular wines constantly. Josh Cellars, and that's nationally. So anybody watching in the U.S., you'll find those at your local wine shop.
Well, I tell you what I do buy are the Chardonnay. I buy the Josh Chardonnay.
That's
excellent.
good. Yeah, that's excellent. There, and their Sauvignon Blanc is actually really, really good. So if you're looking for something that's not as oaky, great with a salad with roasted chicken or something like that on it, the Josh Sauvignon Blanc would be awesome. But for reds, Josh Cellars are super duper popular. Columbia Crest wines. For reds, especially during the winter, I like the Yellowtail Big Bold Red, and I usually buy the big bottle because it seems to last longer. That is also the Australian wines can be expensive, but the Yellowtail wines are reasonably priced, we'll call them.
Is Yellowtail an Australian wine?
It is. Yellowtail will come in all different flavors. The Big Bold Red is kind of a blend of the Shiraz and Cabernet Sauvignon, and then they have a Cabernet Sauvignon, then they have a Sauv and Shiraz blend, then they have Merlot and Shiraz. They have all kinds of mixes and blends. But those are also extremely popular. People would buy those, the big bottles, by the case, 1.5 liters, and they come in a case of 6. So people would frequently buy those as well.
Chrissy, are you a wine drinker?
I am a wine dabbler, if you will.
Ooh, a dabbler.
So I don't always go for a glass of wine, but since living here, I definitely am learning to like it more and more.
So, like in Australia, then you weren't into those, like for instance, the Yellowtail, any of the big Aussie wines?
Not back home, no, but since being over here, I have. Funnily enough.
See, that's called being conditioned by the United States. Just corrupted is the word.
Societal conditioning, right?
But
there.
I tend to drink a lot of Apollo's wines now. I'm good friends of mine own the Apollo Dairy in Derry, New Hampshire, the Apollo Vineyard.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Which is great.
Apollo, I never heard of it.
Oh, it's
Never heard of it.
beautiful.
Do you have?
Check it
You
out.
must have some vineyards in Florida, Tom. Do you know of any near you, around you?
None.
I don't-
Zero. I don't think there are, David. Are there? I'm not sure there are. I mean, I've never seen, I go into Total Wine, obviously. I'd never see local wines on display at the counters or, for
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Interesting.
don't.
We'll have to research that during break because that's visiting a winery is tremendous fun. You get to
Yeah, we've done a couple. When we used to go to when we do go to San Francisco, Ellen and I have gone up to Sonoma and Napa
nice.
several times.
Yeah, that's nice.
And that was a blast. Even if you're not a wine drinker or a wine connoisseur, you go to Napa, or you go to Sonoma, man, it's just a blast. There's this one winery. Actually, Ellen and I belonged to a wine club for several years called Vianza. You've heard of? I mean, I think they're still selling a Sebastiani wine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the youngest son cashed out years ago and started his own vineyard called Vianza, and they're high-end wines, very, very good wines. And Ellen and I belonged to the Vianza Wine Club for probably 4 or 5 years, I think. But we used to go to Sonoma. It was in Sonoma, and the vineyard they had an Italian marketplace where you could go in and buy, almost like a butcher boy type place. Go in, buy some food, some Italian cold cuts, a bottle of wine, sit outside and drink it. It was just great. And the whole Napa thing is great.
It is. And the Sebastiani thing that you mentioned is interesting because they were a serious winery and then they kind of went jug wine and now they're back to serious wine.
Oh, they are.
They do. They make a great one called Cherry Block that is a kind of this dark, rich red, kind of pricey. But I did buy one day and it was fantastic. But that's Sebastiani and they've started to make more better wines, I guess. They're not the jug wine that they used to be. But
by the way, speaking of wines, we won't talk about briefly before we take a break, our good friends at Butcher Boy.
Yes.
Butcher Boy's wine selection is second to none. I mean, again, I'm not a wine connoisseur, but when you walk into Butcher Boy and you see their selections of wine, David, it's like, wow. I mean, it's rows and aisles of wonderful, wonderful reds and whites and they're priced all very, very, very competitively. Great selection of wines. Obviously, their meat department is unsurpassed.
Yeah, and you can get cold cut sandwiches, salads, all pre-made stuff. Like you said, the wine section is great. I'm always impressed and surprised when I go there. I just don't think of it.
Yeah, I'm on a mission when I get back because I saw a picture of one on their site. I'm going to get one of those gigantic cowboy steak with the chop, bone in. That's for two. They have one that's 2 people, throw it on the grill. It's about 32 ounces of steak, but fantastic, and it serves 2 people. So
I was going to say that's a several serving snack right there.
So you can go to Butcher Boy's right at the Butcher Boys Plaza in North Andover,
1077 Osgood Street. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say I can't remember the name.
That is great. That is a great place. I love a good butcher.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about Australian food versus typical dinner in Australia versus a typical dinner in the United States. Is it the same? Is it different? I have no freaking idea, but we're going to find out. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Looking for that something special? All of us here at the Sicilian Corner suggest trying Ristorante Uno, located at 119 Salem Street in Boston's historic North End. For the most exquisite dining experience in an intimate setting that serves authentic regional Italian cuisine and features old country service. Try Ristorante Uno. Did we mention their award-winning wine cellar? Ristorante Uno, 119 Salem Street in Boston's historic North End. Call 617-573-9406 for reservations. That's 617-573-9406. Tell them the boys from the Sicilian Corner sent you.
Today, Lawrence General Hospital has affiliations with leading Boston academic medical centers. Top specialists from Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center and Floating Hospital for Children at Tufts Medical Center work with our local doctors to bring world-class care close to home. Today, amazing partnerships are happening at Lawrence General Hospital. To learn more, visit lawrencegeneral.org/today.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine is pleased to announce the opening of their American College of Radiology accredited MRI unit at their location at 16 Pelham Road in Salem, New Hampshire. So now, in addition to receiving the best orthopedic care in the Merrimack Valley, as well as physical and occupational therapy at Optima Sports Therapy and Rehab, you can also have your MRI, all in one convenient location. The doctors and staff of Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine have been dedicated to providing outstanding medical care to the Merrimack Valley in southern New Hampshire since 1984. Located on Route 97, just off Exit 2 from Route 93 North, on the second floor of the Workout Club of Salem. You deserve the best care, and that's exactly what you'll get from the board-certified surgeons at Essex Orthopedics and Optima Sports Medicine. Please call 603-898-2244 to schedule an appointment.
A loyal sponsor for the Sicilian Corner is Hilton Oil Company. Hilton Oil has been located right across from the South Lawrence Common since 1932 at 101 South Union Street. Hilton Oil Company specializes in 24-hour burner service, oil deliveries, including automatic deliveries serving all the Merrimack Valley area, plus portions of southern New Hampshire. If you want your car fixed right the first time, bring it to Hilton's state-of-the-art service station. Remember, Hilton's is also a Mass State Inspection Station. Hilton Oil Company, 101 South Union Street in Lawrence. Call 978-687-9793.
This is Cindy
and Mike Kunstler,
owners of Grazie Italian Restaurant in Dracut, Massachusetts,
the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
In addition to spectacular views overlooking our golf course, we have an incredible Italian chef, Benny Curti.
Benny was born and raised in Italy and came to be our executive chef in 2013.
Benny is so passionate about cooking. If you haven't experienced the food at Grazie Italian Restaurant, you're truly in for a treat.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club.
Okay, we are back. And, you know, I want to get Chrissy obviously involved in this conversation. In the United States, you have dinner in the United States. You have certain times that people eat, certain courses that we have. In Sicily, you know, people don't start eating dinner in Sicily until 9 o'clock at night. But, you know, they're doing something right because of the Mediterranean diet. Some people in Sicily have their main meal at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Then they take their little, I call it a siesta. A lot of people do that. Chrissy, can you walk us through a typical dinner in Australia? Number one is you know, do you guys in Australia eat at the same time as us? And walk us through a typical meal.
Yeah, I think we do. I mean, I feel like you guys ate a little early here. I don't know. I feel like dinner time growing up for me was like 6.
That's when I eat.
6 or so. But I look here and I feel like you drive past all the drive-thrus in the restaurants and at like 5 o'clock, and stuff. They're really busy here. So
try coming down here.
Yeah.
What time is dinner in Florida? 3?
2:30.
No, I'm not kidding. Restaurants down here really start filling up about 4:30, 4:45.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But by 5:30, they're jammed. You know.
Yeah. I'd say 6 o'clock and onwards is on average. Like you said, that older people probably eat a bit earlier.
Pretty normal.
I'd say about
then.
6. So I'd still call that in the realm of normal. Yeah. Typical dinner. So, I don't know, like growing up, we just had like meat and 3 veg kind of thing. So, you know, but meat being different, like we don't do steak tips at all. That's not a thing in Australia. And I love them so much. So when I came here and discovered them, I was very excited. We eat way more lamb. And our lamb there, I will say, is different than the lamb here. When I first
tell us about that, because you mentioned that before. Is it sweeter? Right. Is it more gamey?
No, sweeter. So when I moved over here and I'm talking to people, I'm like, where's the lamb? Like, we should eat lamb. And everyone is saying, well, for the majority, everyone's saying, it's very gamey. And I'm like, what are you talking about, gamey? It's like my favorite. And then I finally got to actually try lamb from here. And I understood. I still think it's delicious, but it is less sweet, and therefore it is a little more gamey. But I love that flavor.
I'm a big lamb guy too.
Yeah.
Did you have lamb as a kid, Tom? Because I did not.
Yeah, we did. We had lamb chops quite a bit. My mom, my father and mother. Yeah, we had lamb chops quite a bit. Chrissy, when you say lamb, are you talking lamb chops, lamb shank, or a little of everything?
Yeah, a little of everything. So growing up, Sunday dinner would always, if you're having a Sunday roast, for example, you have your big family dinner on Sundays.
Yeah.
That's going to be a nice roast leg of lamb, which is fantastic.
Nice.
We do lamb chops on the barbie, which are great. And then I like, what do you guys call them here? So we call them lamb cutlets, but the lollipops, the lamb lollipops.
Oh, okay. You know something? There's a restaurant literally 300 yards from us.
Yeah.
And that's what I get. They have it as an appetizer, but I get it as a meal. It's about 8 lamb chop lollipops.
Nice.
On roasted Brussels sprouts. Delicious.
Oh, healthy.
Ooh.
Well, I go the non-healthy route with those. So what I do is you bash them out a little, make them a little thin, crumb them, fry them.
Really?
And then I would eat it with like a side of mac and cheese. Like it's a very indulgent, unhealthy meal, but oh my goodness. Yeah, mac and cheese and crumbed, I call them crumb cutlets.
I had lamb for dinner last night, lamb vindaloo.
Oh.
What is that?
That's an Indian dish, extra hot too, so a lot of sweating going on, but that's lamb in a nice, basically India's red sauce. It's a very thick red sauce essentially, and with lamb. My mouth is watering.
And Chrissy, what about like Italian food, pasta in Australia? Is it fairly common?
Yeah, absolutely. Pizza, pasta, all that sort of stuff. You guys have a little more variation on it. I think there's a little more, a few more options over here, if you will. Like there's a lot of things I've never heard of in the Italian dishes, especially pastas. So yeah, we're kind of like a regular like red sauce, carbonara, Alfredo, like chicken broccoli Alfredo. I don't think we really do that in Australia. That's
actually,
common
something.
here.
That's not even an Italian dish.
Right.
That's an
So
American
we're talking,
dish. That was something
Italian
that was created here.
Yeah.
In Italy, if you go to Sicily, nobody knows what Alfredo is.
Oh, really? That's a
God.
the
It's not
white
an Italian dish. That was created in New York City.
Ah.
Oh yeah. They don't even know what it is.
We
They have
do a
no
lot more
idea.
carbonara.
And I'll tell you what else you can't find in Sicily. Veal palm. You can't find veal palm anywhere.
We don't do a lot of that either.
Oh, that's delicious though.
We don't do
I
a lot of that.
love it too. I do love
Actually,
it.
there's-
Chrissy, I'm going to ask you the $60,000 question.
Ooh.
How embarrassing for a lovely girl that is from Australia. How embarrassing is the Outback Steakhouse?
It's very funny. It's a little embarrassing. Especially to watch things on the menu and you're like, we don't even have that where I come from.
You don't have the bloomin' onion?
We don't have bloomin' onions at all. At all.
I didn't think so.
I can't remember whether they call them prawns or shrimp. I feel like they call them shrimp, and that's not true. We call them prawns.
Oh, you call them prawns.
Don't quote me on that. But I feel like there's like shrimp on the menu. I'm like, you're already losing because we don't call them that.
I mean, the Outback, I always thought that the Outback to Aussies was like the Olive Garden is to Italians.
I feel like it must be.
Well, then how is the Olive Garden to you? Do you laugh at that, Tom?
It's a joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
It really is a joke. The Olive Garden is everything, in my opinion, that Italian food should not be. It's now, conversely, there is a chain that I think is acceptable.
Really?
Yeah, and that's Carrabba's.
Really?
Carrabba's is not bad. It's really not bad. It's some people consider it good or quite good.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as the two chains go, there's no comparison between the Olive Garden,
Interesting.
and Carrabba's. Absolutely not.
I got one for you. So
Go ahead.
this one really freaked me out here because it's just, I wasn't expecting it. We have chicken parm where I come from, right? And you guys have chicken parm here. Now, where I come from, chicken parm is a nice, huge piece of crumb chicken. Then on top of that, you're going to put a slice of ham. You can have it in different varying ways. Some places do salami on top or whatever. So crumb chicken, put sauce on the top of that, a little bit of sauce, then ham, then cheese, and then like broil that, and it's gonna all melt on top. Now that is served on a bed of French fries normally.
Really?
We call them chips. So there is no pasta involved. So here I'm like, oh, chicken parm.
But it's like, that sounds like poutine.
No, because it's not cut up or anything. It's a beautiful.
Oh, really?
No,
okay.
not cut up. It's a whole beautiful chicken fillet with all this beautiful stuff, cheese melted on top.
Nice.
Next to or on top of big French fries, or chips as we call them.
Chips.
No
Chrissy,
pasta.
what is the liquor of choice in Australia? I put wines aside, but hard liquor of choice. Is
Hard
it gin,
liquor?
vodka, bourbon,
Rum.
All of the above, same as here, really.
it
I
is.
mean, beer, obviously. That's not
beer.
hard liquor, but we're good beer drunkers. And no 4X or Foster's people, so forget the stereotypes. Stop watching Crocodile Dundee, please. Well, don't stop watching it. It's a great film, but
Yeah, it
that's
is
not
fun.
where...
It is fun.
Yeah, everyone's like, ooh,
So
Foster's.
I have a question for Chrissy. When you came to America for the first time,
Yes.
was there a food you thought, whoa, what is this?
Good or bad?
Yeah, good or bad. Yeah, either
Um,
way. Were you surprised? Were there something like you tried and like, damn, this is good. We don't have it in Australia. Kind
Steak
of thing.
chips, as I said, that was like,
Yes.
holy, what is this?
Yeah, steak
glorious?
tips are great.
Because I'm a
Steak
meat
tips.
eater. Like,
They
I
really
love
are.
meat.
Yeah,
they
A
really
good
are.
steak tips are great.
Well, they can go either way. Good steak tips are great.
Yes.
Bad steak tips are little chunks of leather.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Depends
yeah,
how they're
steak
cooked.
tips was, that was a whole thing. I'm not sure what else, really. Oh, yes, I do. We don't have, so we have Mexican food back home, right? But a lot of the time, so if you buy that, it's going to be like your old El Paso, like tacos, like very standard.
Yeah.
Dominican food, oh my goodness.
Good stuff.
Hello, new love. Like landing here and actually getting to try like proper Spanish food and Dominican food. Because that's my favorite. Mexican was normally my favorite. And then I'm like, I've been having it wrong my whole life.
Yeah.
So yeah, big fan of that. Big fan.
No, I that's you're hitting it right on the head.
Oh my God, awful fluffernutter.
What?
Fluff yeah.
You're in
that's
New England.
Blasphemous.
You're in New
I
England.
know.
Tom,
That is
she's out.
blasphemous.
I'm so sorry.
Wow.
Texturally, the fluff, I just can't do
Well,
sticky.
I guess I can understand it.
I-
Texture can be an issue for people that.
Something can taste delicious, but if the texture is not good, I'm out. And
Yeah, we don't even know what it is,
Ugh.
but it's a New England thing, so we all eat it.
No, thank you.
What about baked stuffed lobster or steamed lobsters? Do you have them? Obviously, you don't have Maine lobsters, but
No.
you have crawfish, crayfish, whatever they call it. Do you like lobster?
I don't mind lobster. A lot of the time, it's not wow enough for the price for me, is what it is. So lobster's nice, but then when you look at the price attached, I'm like, man, ain't that nice? So yeah, lobster's fine. It's okay. We obviously seafood in Australia is a big thing. Like we have beautiful seafood over there. We have fish and chips. I miss. That's probably my number one missed thing is fish and chips.
Yeah, David.
Because it's not
that's-
like
I mean,
a piece of fish.
Yeah, fish and
It's-
chips around here, man, just doesn't do it.
Oh,
You know?
in Florida or just in New England?
No, in New England. Well, I mean, even in New England, I mean, the fish and chips in New England is like real fish and chips are not what we get up there with the fried haddock. I mean,
Right.
Real fish, but I love the fried haddock, seafood platter, things like that. But I mean, real fish and chips, you got to go to England or you got to go to Ireland.
Yeah,
or,
I would
you know.
agree. I would agree with that. What about a lobster roll? That's very New England, isn't it?
Yeah, lobster roll is very New England,
very
and
good.
there's a couple of different ways. I tell you what I really like. I like it much better than the typical Maine, Massachusetts lobster roll that you can get. And not to criticize a beach plum, but they make it the typical way. You go to New Haven, go to Connecticut. Have you ever had a Connecticut lobster roll?
I don't think so.
All it is it's lobster drenched in butter.
Butter, yeah.
No mayo.
Oh man,
In a hot dog roll.
Yeah.
That is toasted.
Well, I think if you added
Fantastic.
butter to fluffernutter, it would be good for Chrissy. I mean, you add butter to anything, it's good. But yeah, I
we
agree.
butter our peanut butter and jelly
See, there you go.
sandwiches. So.
Oh, I do that too. I have a
good.
little English muffin with a little bit of butter and then peanut butter on top.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, last night we went out to, for Valentine's Day. Ellen and I and my sister went out, and there's a nice, beautiful little seaside restaurant called Frigates, Frigates. So we went to Frigates last night, and the good thing about this restaurant is they pretty much the fish that you're eating was caught usually that morning.
Nice.
So I had macadamia yellowtail snapper.
Ooh, I like snapper.
It was delicious. It was a beautiful big piece of snapper with some what do they call those breadcrumbs? Panko.
Oh, the panko. Yeah, those are delicious.
With panko on top of risotto, delicious. Ellen had pan-seared grouper on a bed of rice. That was absolutely a killer. And my sister had, I believe she had swordfish.
What did you have to drink?
I had my typical 2. Last night we changed it up a little bit. Typically, as you know, I'm a Tito's Kettle One guy.
Yeah.
But last night we changed it up. We had a couple of Grey Goose martinis, straight up.
Grey Goose, huh? Very classy.
Yeah, rocks on the side. We vacillate back and forth. I mean, we were big Grey Goose drinkers for years. Then we kind of morphed into Tito's, and I like Tito's, but now we're kind of getting into Kettle One again. We kind of mix it up. And then what I typically do is when I order my vodka, I always order a vodka that I've never tried before also.
Oh, good.
A 1 point, not a 1 point, what is it, 750, David?
Yeah. The bigger bottle? But not the
the 1.75 is the big bottle.
Right,
correct?
that's what you buy for Tito's, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll buy a 750 of a vodka that I've never heard of, read a couple of reviews on it, and try it.
Weren't you trying, what was the one from last year? You drank a lot
Froggy
of
Bee.
Froggy Bee. Do you still drink that every now and then?
I do. As a matter of fact, I picked some up this week.
Good.
It's an interesting vodka. It's got a little citrus flavor to it, but it's very, very good. There's some other ones we've tried. Some you like, some you don't like. But it's,
so do you have a? I guess your go-to is Tito's, but is there a cheap?
Yes, there is. You talk about an inexpensive vodka,
right?
And I think we've talked about it. And I still don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Laskova or Leska?
Oh, yeah, I think Laskova. That sounds good. The Polish one.
It's excellent.
And that's a potato vodka, right?
It's potato vodka.
Yeah.
A 1.75 is somewhere around $24.
Right.
And quite frankly, it's every bit as good as some of the $35 vodkas. It's a we keep it, not that we drink like a bottle of vodka a day. I mean, for those of you that are watching, we just, we kind of collect vodkas and try, vodkas, because we're both vodka drinkers. We've been drinking martinis for 30 years. So, but like Laskova is a very, very, very good buy for the price. It's excellent.
Nice.
What about you? You're a Scotch drinker?
No. If I'm drinking, I do like beer. I like the thick, heavier beers, so the darker beers, Murphy Stout, those kinds of beers. I do like, and then wine, and then if I'm drinking, during the winter, I tend to drink rum just in a glass, not in anything.
I'll tell you a quick rum story.
Ooh.
So at the break, I'll get the little gizmo. Our next door neighbor bought us it's a little, looks like almost like a kind of like a cross between a little pointy chisel and a knife. And right outside our door, we have a beautiful coconut tree. Oh. And right now there's probably 50 or 60 coconuts on it. Wow. And usually we wait for them to fall, and we'll grab a few, bring them home. But she did some research. So she was up there the other day on a step ladder, and she pulled down about 5 or 6 coconuts, and she knocked at her door, handed us a couple. And I said, Mel, her name is Melanie. I said, Mel, they're only about this big.
Okay.
She said, I know. She said, but I'm going to show you this gizmo. So she, literally in 30 seconds, she was able to pry off the little leaf at the top, stick the gizmo in, twist it, and pull up the meat, and you had a nice hole going into the coconut.
No
now
way.
the coconut meat is soft, so you're not going to eat the coconut meat on the small coconuts, but the coconut water is spectacular.
Really?
Yeah. So the other night we got we grabbed a couple of coconuts, popped them open. I had a nice big shaker. We put some crushed pineapple in. Really some. We picked up a half a gallon of kind of like a pineapple grapefruit kind of a drink. Just poured a little of that in. Some coconut milk, just a little splash of coconut milk, the coconut water from the coconut, crushed ice, shook it up. Fantastic.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Wow, that's great.
It was our pina colada, so it was good.
Yeah, good.
All right, we're going to take,
good pina colada is good.
It was very, very tasty.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back, we're just going to shoot the breeze. We got some other stuff to talk about. David, I want to talk to you about your famous barbershop quartet. We want to talk about that.
Wow.
This is David from the Sicilian Corner. You know, Mike, Tom, and I love to go to Salisbury Beach, but we love different things and we can never agree. Tom likes the casual family-style dining with great Italian cuisine, Capri Seaside Italian Grill. Me, I love the elegant romantic vibe, Sea Glass with the amazing view and terrific menu with prices that'll make it the place you want to visit every week. Mike loves a drink in his hand and a cool ocean breeze right off the surf and the rhythms of an even cooler reggae band. We all know Mike loves Bob Marley tunes at Surfside. Who doesn't love a great show? National acts, comedy, regional favorites in the beautiful and intimate Blue Ocean Music Hall. Lucky for us, Atlantic Hospitality is the host of all these great places, and they treat everyone like they're Mike Lamazzo. And best of all, we never have to choose. Park the car once and all of this fun is right at your fingertips. We can have it all in the heart of Salisbury Beach. Find out about all the ways you can have a great night at Salisbury Beach at northshorepavilion.com. And Mike, Tom, and I will see you there.
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
Hi, this is Mike, and I would like to tell you about the Deborah Care Law Offices, a firm that is focused on estate planning, probate, trust administration, and elder law issues. You will feel comfortable discussing important issues concerning both you and your loved ones, as well as having the information you need to make an informed decision about your family's future. How do I know? Because I'm a client of Dan Deborah Care. If you want to have peace of mind knowing that your loved ones are protected, call Deborah Care Law Offices today. In Massachusetts, 978-686-4645. In New Hampshire, 603-894-4141.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
This is Cindy,
And Mike Kunstler,
owners of Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
In addition to spectacular views overlooking our golf course, we have an incredible Italian chef, Benny Curti.
Benny was born and raised in Italy and came to be our executive chef in 2013.
Benny is so passionate about cooking. If you haven't experienced the food at Grazie Italian Restaurant, you're truly in for a treat.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club.
Okay, we are back, and just a reminder for our good viewers and listeners in the Merrimack Valley to check out Butcher Boys. Butcher Boy on Osgood Street in North Andover, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. They have everything. I mean, wines, beers, a phenomenal selection of fine meats, chicken, prepared foods, groceries. By the way, David, their sausage is a killer.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
love a
their
good
sausage.
sausage.
They have a couple of different flavored sausages. Pick them up. I know Mike grills all year round, and
Yes, I do too.
he was just telling me just a couple of weeks ago he picked up a couple of pounds and cooked it on the grill. It is fantastic.
Do you have a favorite sausage?
Tomato and cheese. I'm a big tomato and cheese guy.
Really?
Yeah, but you got to be careful with the tomato and cheese because you can't poke it. Because what you want to do is you want to keep the flavor of the cheese, the melted cheese inside it. So you got to be careful when you're flipping it because you don't want that all to drain out and leak out. So, Butcher Boys, what's the address, David?
1077 Osgood Street. Remember, they have gift cards as well. They're open Monday through Saturday, 8:30 to 7, and then on Sunday, 8:30 to 6.
And by the way, David, here is the little gizmo I was telling you about.
I'm going to watch it. Wow. So you went out and bought one?
No, she gave it to us as a gift.
No kidding.
Yeah. You
so
just
explain how.
Stick it in, turn it, boom. And here is a bottle, since I'm in my little studio here. This is the Froggy Bee.
Oh, okay.
That I was telling you about. It's an organic wheat vodka. It's very good, made in France. Kind of a cool packaging too, called Froggy Bee.
Froggy Bee. And you can't get that up here?
Oh, you can.
Oh, you can. Okay.
I don't know if the state liquor store has it, but you can certainly get it. So, David, we talk about music. And I know you've been doing this for years, and I've heard that you guys are quite good. You've been singing in a barbershop quartet for how long now?
Just for the last 4 years in the quartet and the chorus for 7. So
now, that's all a cappella, correct?
Correct.
And walk us through it. Does each of the 4 have a different? What are you, a tenor? Or
they each have different parts. So the quartet will have just from the top of the sheet down is a tenor sings the high notes. The lead sings the lead part, the melody, and then right under that is the baritone, most complicated part in my opinion, and then the bass sings all the lower notes. I sing lead in the quartet. I sing tenor in the chorus. So it's a nice mix.
Now I've seen barbershop quartet competitions. They're pretty popular, aren't they?
Yeah, that's a whole different level. The men's international finals the week of the 4th of July, and I think it's in Cleveland this year. The week of 4th of July, and they generally are doing things that we can't do.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's like if I played high school football. You played high school football. It's like that's not the game that they're playing now.
So it's just totally different level.
It's totally different level, and a lot of these people are professionals too. You're in Florida. A lot of the Voices of America, is that what that's called? The Disney people. A lot of the Disney people are involved in both male and female contests singing at the international level. In fact, the director of the Disney group is a multiple-time gold medal winner in barbershop.
So how often do you guys? How often do you rehearse? First of all,
we rehearse weekly. So I have a course rehearsal on Wednesday nights, and we get quartet rehearsal in when we can. One of the members in my mixed quartet is taking some classes, so she's quite busy right now. So we're giving her a little bit of break. Plus, there's nothing to compete for, and you really can't sing out easily because most of the places don't want people singing because that's a spreading event.
Right.
Yeah. So and then for chorus, our spring contest is in April this year. It's April 8th and 9th in Hyannis, and then there's men's international in July, and then we have another contest in the fall.
So do you guys? Do you perform for, people?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can do everything from being hired. A lot of quartets and choruses will have a ad on Gigmaster, Gig Salad, where they're advertising their services, and people are looking to hire people to sing at parties. We've had people contact us and say, "Can you sing at my dad's funeral?" That kind of thing. He loved singing, or he loved barbershop singing, so we'll go and sing. Frequently, you'll sing like the Irish Blessing or I Believe, or or if he has a specific song that he loved that we know, we'll sing that as well. And then a lot of times during the holidays, we're out singing quite a bit. We'll sing for the city of Nashua in one of the churches, which is a great event. And then we get gigs during the course of the summer. Everything from indoor gigs at a nursing home to outdoor gigs. City of Milford town of Milford, I guess, in New Hampshire, has an outdoor event, concert series during the summer. We usually sing there too. So we get
Very
we get
cool.
out we
Very
get out a
cool.
lot. Not obviously not the last couple of years because of COVID, but one of our goals this year is to try to get out more.
Speaking of music, I was remiss at the beginning of the show, and I meant to mention it. A lot of our viewers here in the Merrimack Valley, Lawrence, Methuen area, this week we lost a very dear friend of many of us in the Italian community. This is a kid that I grew up with in the same neighborhood. His name was Carmen Damaca, and Carmen passed away a few days ago. In Sicily. Carmen was living in Sicily, and he was just a superb musician. Growing up as a kid, he played, he was a writer, played in a lot of rock and roll bands, opened up, played in some really big, local bands, not local, but regional bands during the 80s.
Nice.
Mid 80s, opened up for a lot of the big names in Boston.
Cool.
And Carmen was living in Sicily, playing in a band, was just writing some music. The name of his band was One Life. 4 guys, 3 of them didn't speak a word of English. They spoke Sicilian, but they sang English lyrics like you wouldn't know that they didn't speak English.
Yeah.
And Carmen, he had a massive heart attack a couple of days ago. So my brother Al posted a couple of days ago, posted a really poignant video of Carmen's funeral, and it was very emotional. There were about 80 or 90 people there, all musicians, and the rest of his band stood around the coffin and played the song that he had just written. It was very, very emotional. And then in the church, he was a great bass guitar player.
Oh, okay.
And his bass guitar was leaning against the coffin. He was a good guy. Carmen had some issues, a lot of us know, but overall, Carmen was a wonderful, wonderful guy and a great musician. So,
you meet him
Carmen,
you met him through music, or
yeah? Well, he grew up in. I'll tell you a funny story. Carmen grew up in my neighborhood, and as you know, I played in a band. I started playing in a band. I started playing drums when I was in 3rd grade, and I was playing in a band like in the 8th grade, and we were pretty decent. The name of the band was The 4 of Us, and we used to do just cover stuff. And we were playing at the Holy Rosary School Parish Center for like an 8th grade dance, right? And maybe it wasn't an 8th grade dance because I think it was open to the whole school. It was a grammar school. So we were playing up there, and this little pipsqueak, about 2 feet tall, asked us if he could sing a song. And it was the first gig that Carmen ever did. He literally was about 3.5 feet tall, and we put him on a folding chair. And he stood in the folding chair. We put a mic in his hand, and he sang "Hang On, Sloopy," and that was Carmen's first gig.
Wow!
So, Carmen, rest in peace. Speaking of Sicily, I know we have a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
I was watching The Godfather again. I've seen The Godfather a million times. Chrissy, you've seen The Godfather?
A long, long time ago. So
yeah,
I can't go quoting
David,
it
you've
that
seen
much.
it?
Oh yeah.
Your thoughts? Your thoughts on the movie itself? Forget put the mafia stuff aside, but the movie as a movie. What are your thoughts on that?
I thought it was a great movie. The level of stars and superstars, I guess, as they became afterwards in that movie is just astounding. The characters in there, some really, really great characters. I always liked James Caan, so super cool character. Vito, is that De Niro?
He was the young Vito.
Yeah,
then the old Vito was Brando.
Yeah, that's right.
It's hard for non-Sicilians to understand, but Marlon Brando, who was, I think he was part Czechoslovakian and whatever.
Mutt.
I can't tell you how he nailed it as Don Corleone,
the
Sicilian Godfather. I mean, the mannerisms, his mannerisms reminded me of my grandfather when I was growing
no
up.
kidding, really?
He just
Did he have the accent down to? It seemed like he did.
Just nailed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nailed it. Especially the way he walked, the mannerisms. I can remember my grandfather. Remember the last scene when he died? He had the heart attack.
Yeah.
And he was with his little grandson. He cuts an orange and he puts the orange peel in his mouth. And my grandfather used to do that.
No kidding, really?
Oh God, yeah. Very, very good actor.
What else? What are the other characters in that movie that you liked?
Well, just briefly, he was only 40-something years old, and originally he wasn't chosen for that role. They wanted Anthony Quinn to play Don Corleone, and Quinn turned the role down. Another guy that was just spectacular was Al Pacino. Al Pacino had done a couple of minor movies. He did The Panic in Needle Park prior to that, but he was not the first choice either. They originally were going to make him Sonny, and they wanted to bring in, I think it was De Niro as Al Pacino.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine that now, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, it all worked out.
Yeah, Pacino was great.
Yeah, Pacino did a great job. John, what's his name? How do you pronounce his last name? Cassavetes? Fredo.
Yeah, Fredo. Oh, yeah, Fredo's a good
there's
character.
There's a guy that, he probably was in 5 or 6 movies, and I think he won one Academy Award. He was in a couple of movies with Pacino, and he died very young from cancer.
Oh, wow.
He died when he was in his early 40s, I believe.
Really?
And you know who he was married to?
No.
Meryl Streep.
No kidding.
Fredo was married to Meryl Streep.
Interesting. Yeah. Fredo.
Honest to God. But anyway, it was a great flick.
So you're not, just quickly on the mafia thing, you weren't offended by that?
No, actually I wasn't, because I know a lot of people were.
Yeah.
Because of the way, a lot of the people that I think were offended by it was they wanted people to know that is not the way all Sicilians were portrayed.
Right.
I didn't look at it that way. I looked at it differently. I looked at it as, listen, the mafia does exist. The mafia did exist, and this is how they existed.
Right. So it's a realistic portrayal of a slice of Sicily.
Yeah, it was. And, it is what it is. But great movie. Really enjoyed it. Watched it the other night again. And as I've seen it so many times, it doesn't get old for me. And again, the acting, I just think, is from one actor to another. There wasn't anybody in that movie that was miscast, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Same thing with Godfather Part 2.
Yep.
Godfather Part 3, on the other hand, I thought was a total disaster.
Did you really?
I think it could have been a great movie. I thought there were I think Coppola really copped out. His daughter, Sophia, I think her name is. He gave her the part as Michael's daughter. What's his name? I can't remember his name. Another actor that was in it that had no business being in it.
Right.
I thought it was just miscast.
Not well done, huh?
No.
So have you been watching the Olympics at all?
I refuse.
Oh, why?
China.
Not even the cheating Russians?
No, I decided I was, I'm not trying to make a statement. I just thought that, something, I know that some of those athletes have been working their entire lives, but I just chose not to. So.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough watch with the whole, I have issues with judging competitions because you're dealing with people and biases and stuff. So I don't like that part. I like the speed sports. I like the downhill skiing. That's kind of fun because it's dangerous too.
I agree.
The bobsled. I was watching curling last night, oddly enough. But yeah, I generally stay away from the adjudication.
The ice skating, the figure skating.
Yeah, it depends on where country you come from. The scoring, it's ripe with issues, in my opinion.
Chrissy, are we just about out of time? We have a couple minutes.
We got a couple minutes.
We got a couple minutes.
A couple of minutes.
What do you got going on for the weekend?
Well, actually, something. This is a good thing. Nothing. For this weekend, we've got clear sailing.
Nice.
I think tomorrow is going to be a great beach day.
Huh?
So we may mosey on out to the beach. If not, we'll sit by the pool, and I may do a little fishing. The fishing has really sucked, though, this year thus far. Has not been good. So tomorrow, maybe my luck will change.
How close are you to a spring training facility?
Literally about a 12-minute drive.
So they're not opening on time, obviously. So
well, I bought tickets to the Red Sox Marlins game on March 22nd. We bought 4 tickets. Hopefully, that's going to happen.
Right.
We're about 12 minutes from Roger Dean Stadium, and that's where the Marlins and the St. Louis Cardinals have their spring training.
Okay.
And then in another direction, we're about 15 minutes from the it's called the stadium at West Palm or something like that.
Nice.
They just opened it about 4 years ago.
Nice.
And that's the home of the Washington Nationals and the Houston Astros. So
wow.
we're surrounded within a 15-minute drive of here of 2 really cool parks. And
nice.
Spring training games are great.
They are.
They're a lot of fun.
It's a whole different feel, and it's a lot cheaper.
It's a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll sit on the grass. Ellen will bring a blanket, or else we'll get some good seats. It's a lot of fun.
Right. Excellent.
All right, my man. Listen, thanks for jumping in for Mikey Boy. Mike, I hope you did win a few bucks. Mike's been on a roll with the money. He's been on a roll.
He has. Absolutely. Can't wait to find out what the total is.
Yeah.
Chrissy, thanks for your help, honey, this week.
No worries.
Love you guys. And to our viewers and listeners, as always, we love you. Thank you so much for the support. And remember, if you can't make fun of yourself, please don't make fun of anyone. Have a great week.
Audio Jungle.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.